are up in Pennsylvania 62% since she took office, and are slated to be increased this year by more than 30%. Congratulations. You know, if and when we win, you know, everyone says, sir, say, if they didn't cheat, I wouldn't even be here today. You know why? I wouldn't have to campaign. I'm here only because they cheat, and they cheat in this state, especially in Philadelphia. And I mentioned a couple of the areas, but for the most part, but Philadelphia is out of control. Detroit is out of control. Atlanta is out of control. Places are out of control, because if there was no cheating, if God came down from a high and said, I am going to be your vote tabulator for this election, I would leave this podium right now because I wouldn't have to speak. We wouldn't have any problem. We have to have a landslide because they cheat so damn much. We have to have a landslide. Right, Mike? So I never say when I win. We're leading in all the polls. We're leading the state. But I say if and when, because I don't want to be obnoxious, and I don't want to be foolish either. But if and when we're leading big, I win, I will cut. Too big to rig, you're right. We want to make it too big to rig. But here's a big promise to Pennsylvania and to the whole country, by the way, because your prices are really high. I mean, for people with all of that power, all of that liquid gold under your feet, you're getting screwed. You're paying high. You're paying one of the highest energy rates, including cars, air conditioners, heating. You're paying one of the highest in the whole country. Perhaps your governor's not doing a very good job. I don't know what the hell's going on. But when you have that kind of energy, you shouldn't be paying the price. But you're one of the highest. But here's a promise I'm making to you. I will cut your energy and electricity prices in half, 50%, 50, within 12 months of taking the oath of office. Within 12 months of taking the oath of office, I will cut your energy prices by 50%, and it's not going to be hard, and I will terminate the natural gas export ban. Can you imagine we have a ban? We have countries that want to pay us. You know, we were energy independent 4 years ago. Now we're not. But more importantly, we were going to be energy dominant. I would have been producing today 3 to 4 times what I was doing 4 years ago. I will repeal the insane electric vehicle mandate, and we will drill, baby, drill. Those two things very early. Drill, baby, drill. Thank you. And earlier this month, I was honored to receive the endorsement, as I said just a little while ago. But I got the endorsement from the rank-and-file membership of the Teamsters. It was a great honor. You know, I've used in New York. It's a very union town, and I used the Teamsters for years. They were great. They drove the cement trucks where I poured the concrete frames, and I did it for many years. A lot of buildings, built many buildings, many buildings, and Teamsters. And I got along with them great, but I got 60% of the vote. Actually, I think more than that, but 60% of the vote. And some local chapters, we did even better in Pennsylvania. We got 65% of the vote from the Teamsters. Wow, thank you very much. I love the team. Are there any Teamsters? Any Teamsters in the room? Good. Stand up, sir. He's a tough-looking guy. Very good. Good. Thank you. And as a result of this, you know, shocking, to me it's not shocking, but as a result, the national organization, as you know, has refused to endorse the Democrat candidate for president for the first time in decades. I mean, it's been a long time. And I want to thank Teamsters President Sean O'Brien and all of the incredible rank-and-file Teamsters that did this. This was a big shocker. It wasn't shocking to me. I said, how the hell are Teamsters? You know, these are tough people. How the hell are they going to vote for this woman, this terrible person? She's weak in so many ways, like, you know, she's weak. They're not going to vote for that. I said a long time ago, I actually believe they would have been better if they left crooked Joe Biden in, because I actually think at least he had a base. She has no base. You know, she was the last person. She came in last because when he ran, he got 14 million votes, whatever you want. I'm not a big fan of his. I wouldn't say he's exactly the greatest. Do we agree? Not exactly the greatest. He doesn't have any idea where the hell he is, but I think he's better than she is. And he had a base, you know, he had a little base because of years and years. He made up a lot of it, you know. He said he lived here, he lived there. He said, I used to fly jets too. If pilots came in, I used to fly jets. If truckers came in, I used to drive a truck. The worst of all, though, was when he said, I want to play him in golf. He wants to play me in golf. You ever see him play? Yeah. And Trump. Oh, but I'm a good golfer. No, I'm a good golfer. He said, I want to play him in golf. I'll give him 3 strokes a side. I said, can you believe this? The guy can't play. He never could. By the way, 30, 40 years ago, he couldn't play either. I was also honored to receive the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police, representing almost 400,000 police officers. Biggest organization all across our country. And also, I got almost every single police. Maybe I got them all, but I want to say almost because the fake news is back there, so I have to be careful. If I say I got them all and there's like one little group in some place, no, but I got almost every single group of police officers and law enforcement, generally sheriffs, everybody. These are great people, and we got to let them do their job. Also central to Kamala's agenda for economic destruction is her plan to impose the largest individual tax hikes in American history on you, the largest small business tax hike. She wants to get rid of the estate tax provision that I have in my tax, where if you die and you love your children, you can leave your small farm or small business to your kids. If you don't love your children, it doesn't matter. Does anybody here not love their children? Okay, then I've covered 100% of the audience. Well, there are some, but they're sort of embarrassed. They don't want to raise their head. But also, it's the wants to impose the largest capital gains tax in history, and even a brand new wealth confiscation tax, or as they call it, unrealized capital gain, where you have to pay a capital gain even if you keep your business or keep whatever it is that you want to keep. You have to go out, get it appraised. And then you have to, after you get it appraised, you have to negotiate. This is the craziest thing. That's called a communist tax. That's basically a confiscation. I mean, some people in this room, you're wealthy, but you don't have a lot of cash, and you're no longer wealthy with this one. This one is whack job. But that's, I don't know if it's ever been used. I mean, I've heard about it for years, but it's called unrealized capital gains. It means exactly what it says. They're unrealized. So you can't tax them, which will annihilate the stock market and wipe out the savings of millions and millions of seniors and retirees, and middle-class families will be devastated. Kamala Harris is a tax queen. She's known as the tax queen. She loves taxing people. This is the only election I've ever seen where somebody brags about, we're going to raise your taxes. You know, I've grown up watching politics. I've always liked politics. I've been on the other side, like writing contribution checks. But I've watched, and I've never heard anything like, you know, most politicians, we will cut your taxes. This is constantly, even if they don't do it, by the way. A lot of times they don't. We will cut your taxes. It is our goal to cut your taxes. We're going to cut, right, Mike? Every politician. Have you ever seen one that doesn't do that? Look at, I have all these great people here. Great congressmen, warriors. David, are you going to ever say, we will raise your taxes? No, I don't think so. No, I've never seen it. This is the only group. We are going to raise your taxes. We're going to give you capital gains confiscation. We're going to do things that nobody has ever had to do. Vote for Kamala. Who the hell is going to vote? Open borders, tax increases, regulations at a level that no business will be able to hire you. Kamala is coming for your money. She's coming for your pensions. She's coming for your savings. And unless you defeat her in November, this country's going to go to hell. As president, I will keep Kamala's greedy hands out of your pockets, and I will deliver gigantic tax cuts for working families of Pennsylvania. Thank you. And very importantly, this is so important because this is something, and she tried to copy me, that one didn't work out, that she tried. A few months later, she said it, she got slaughtered. We will have no tax on tips. No tax on overtime. And no tax on Social Security benefits for seniors. No tax. No tax. And, you know, it's going to lead to great things. A lot of people don't give. I know a lot about overtime. I'd hated to give overtime. I hated it. I'd get other people, I shouldn't say this, but I'd get other people in I wouldn't pay. I hated. This is going to lead to a lot more. I think it's going to be economically positive, but I'm not even doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because like the no tax on overtime, it's something so good, but no tax for the seniors. Do we have any seniors here? I hate to admit it. I'm a senior. They'll say, he's got a conflict of interest. He's giving this to himself. Watch. I'll end up in front of a grand jury tomorrow. Donald Trump has suggested no tax on Social Security benefits. And he's got a conflict of interest. We're putting him before a grand jury because I've seen more grand juries than Alphonse Capone. And he averaged about killing one person a week. Alphonse, the meanest of them all. I know more about grand juries than Alphonse ever even thought about. My father's looking down on my mother. They're great people. They say, can you believe my son did this? Can you believe that my son would run for politics and be treated this way? But you know what? And we're doing great. We won the big case in Florida. We're winning them all. I'll tell you what, did you see? We won the big case. That was the big one. They're going to get him in Florida. They're going to get him in Florida. It was always, that seemed to be the documents case. I had every right to have him, called the Presidential Records Act. That's what they passed it for. But he didn't have that act because he wasn't president. And he got out. You know how he got out? And I don't want to talk about him too much because she's running. Maybe he'll go back. If she does really badly, they'll probably put him back. Let's rechange. But think of this. So they got him out. They said he's guilty of what he did, but he's grossly incompetent, which she never told us, by the way. That's putting our country at risk. She should have told us. But he's incompetent, so nobody like this should be able to go to court. So think of it. He can't go to court, but he can run the United States of America. There's something wrong with that, right? There's something wrong with that. But the big case was a documents case in Florida. And we had a brilliant judge who was somebody that understood this whole thing. And I won the case in its entirety. And they go like, that was the big one. The big one was that we're going to get him in Florida. We're going to get that documents case. No, these are very crooked people. These people have weaponized the justice system, and we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it happen. It's a shame, but that's what it's been. Just makes your job more difficult. But it's all what we fight and the resolve that we have. It's the big reason why we're leading in Pennsylvania. And the Emerson poll just came out. I just heard 2 seconds ago, actually. We're up in Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, and they're the only ones they did. Even the New York Times, they're not big fans of mine. I'm not big fans of them, the failing New York Times. The Siena poll, we're up in North Carolina by a lot, and we're up in Georgia by 4, and we're up in Arizona by 5. That's in the New York Times. If they say that, David, that means we're up by, he goes, Uncle Sam said triple. I think you're right. Uncle Sam, please stand up. Look at this guy. Thank you. And by the way, he doesn't work for me. He goes to a lot of a lot of these, you know, they say it's the greatest show on earth. It is pretty great, isn't it, though? Isn't it? The people make it great. It's the greatest show on earth, but he does, Uncle Sam, I don't know who he is, but I shook his hand the other day, like at the Nassau Coliseum when we had a big one, but I shook his hand. He's got the strongest hands. He almost broke. I couldn't believe it. I said, Uncle Sam has strong hands. David, I was complaining the whole night. I said, I'm never shaking that guy's hand again. Have you known that? You have strong hands. He said, thank you, sir, very much. And I felt that cracking feeling, right? Now, you're a strong guy, right? Strong hands. What did you do for a living?
I want to go to your inauguration.
Okay. That's a roofer. Good. I can see it. Good. I'll bet you're a good one, too. Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Sam. You know, when she gets a little, she doesn't get a crowd, but when she gets a little crowd, they have buses coming in. So we take pictures of the buses. We give them to the fake news. They never report it, you know? But they have the bus people. And then they only show the first 3 or 4 rows. But we don't, like Uncle Sam. I mean, I don't pay anybody to come. We don't do any of that stuff. We have the most incredible group of people all over the country. No, I mean, if you were up in Wisconsin, you would have seen something that actually was incredible. But we're winning in Pennsylvania, and the main thing that we have to do is we have to get out the vote. We have to get out the vote, because if we lose this election, we are going to have a problem with this country, the likes of which I think no country has ever faced before. Here in Pennsylvania, you also need to vote for your next senator, and he's a great guy. I've known him for a long time. He's a winner in the military. He's a winner in life. He's got a fantastic wife and family, and I'm telling you, he's a warrior. He was a warrior in the military. He then goes into private practice, and he made a lot of money. He ran one of the biggest firms, and did really great, respected so much beyond this, and he just wanted to do something, I would say, for the country and for Pennsylvania, because, you know, Pennsylvania to the country, but he loves his country, he loves the Commonwealth. And Dave McCormick, just come up for a second, would you, Dave? Come on up.
All right, thank you, Mr. President, and hello, Erie, how are you? You know, I just wanted to say, Mr. President, thank you for coming back to the Keystone State. This is the place where we're going to retire Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and send you back to the White House, right here in Pennsylvania, right here, this state, right here in Erie. Erie, the bellwether, right here. And this is also where we're going to have the chance to fire a guy named Bob Casey. Bob Casey is weak. He's weak. He's a career politician. He's liberal, and we got to send him packing and bring a Republican majority to the Senate to get the Trump agenda across the finish line. And you know, I'm new to politics, but ever since I can remember, I've had people tell me, this is the most important election of your lifetime. How many times have we heard it? I want to tell you, my friends, this, for our kids, for our grandkids, this is the most important election of our lifetimes, right here. And it's a race. It's a race between strength, a guy who says fight, 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 and weakness, the weakness of Kamala Harris. It's a race between common sense policies and a radical liberal agenda. You don't have to listen to me. This is a woman who said, in her own words, we want to ban fracking. We want to transition energy workers. We want to give amnesty to 10 million illegal immigrants. We want to make sure they have federal benefits. We want to have mandatory buybacks of your guns. We want to defund the police. And how about this? We want to reduce your red meat consumption, right? We need common sense leadership. It's common sense. We need a leader who's going to open up our energy sector, that pure, beautiful natural gas from Pennsylvania right here, President Trump. We need leadership to tame. We got to tame this inflation and help working families with President Trump. We need to bring law and order to our cities, and we need to secure that border and stop these illegal immigrants coming in and bringing crime and fentanyl into Pennsylvania. And most important, our adversaries around the world are testing us. They're challenging us every day. We need peace through strength that we only will get if we get President Trump back in the White House and a majority in the Senate. So I want to tell you all, this is the most important election of your lifetime, but it depends on you. You got to get out there. You got to tell your friends. You got to get them to vote. This is the most important election of your lifetime. Let's go do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Great, Dave. That's great, David. So get out. Dave McCormick, great guy. You got to get him in. He'll be a tremendous asset, tremendous help to you and to everybody. We're also pleased to be joined by a couple of real warriors. Mike Kelly, who I mentioned before. Mike, please stand up. Congressman. This guy he's a great guy. He's been my friend for a long time. I won't say how long because I don't want to have them think we're a little old, because we're not old. Where it counts, we're not old. But I'll tell you, Mike is a tremendous guy, and he's been that for a long time, and he loves your Commonwealth, and he loves it a lot, and he loves our country. So thank you, Mike, for being here. Appreciate it. And another longtime friend, Nick Langworthy, who is a congressman, doing really well. I've known him he was the leader of the party. He was a leader of everything he's done, and you're doing a great job. Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you. And a very popular mayor of Slippery Rock, J.D. Alongo. Thank you, J.D. Thank you very much. Good job. And all the other people. We have so many people here. We won't do all, and I apologize, but we got to get back to it, and then we'll get the hell out of here. You go home, watch a football game or something, right? Lion Kamala Harris is the worst vice president acknowledged to be in history. Everyone thought she wouldn't get it, but they wanted to be politically correct, so she gave it to her. And here are the facts. She wants open borders. She cost the typical family $29,000. Think of that because of her inflation policy. And it's going to cost a lot more than that very soon. It's going up by a lot. She was an original creator of Defund the Police. Are there any police officers? She was for Defund the Police. Anybody that wants to defund the police for even 1 week is not worthy of being the President of the United States. And, you know, just to show you, go ahead, put up that video, please.
Kamala Harris's radical ideas keep ending in tragedy. Harris raised money to fund the release of violent criminals like Sean Michael Tillman.
The Minnesota Bail Fund, promoted by Kamala Harris, recently helped secure the release of a repeat felon who just got charged with murder. Sean Michael Tillman shot and killed a passenger on a train platform after reportedly being released from jail 3 weeks prior.
Harris's liberal ideas get people killed.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
So we're trying to show you, and we're working hard because a lot of people don't know her. She's a disaster. You can't have her. Kamala Harris vowed to abolish ICE, and she supports free health care for illegal aliens. She wants mass amnesty and citizenship for everyone. All of these people, even if they're criminals, they're looking for amnesty, and they want to become citizens of our country. Those countries threw them all out. She says we must not utter the words illegal alien, radical Islamic terrorist. Remember, I used to use that word all the time because we had a problem. We didn't have one terror attack during my 4 years because they knew they couldn't do it. But maybe worst of all, she lost more than, this is not even possible to believe, 325,000 migrant children are missing, many of whom have been trafficked and raped. As California Attorney General, she lost them all. And she redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as totally nonviolent crimes. No, this is a radical left lunatic we're dealing with. By the way, if she wins, it's not going to be so pleasant for me, but I don't care. I really don't care. We have a job to do. You can't let her win. You can't. Because they're unpleasant. They're unpleasant anyway. They're crooked. They're crooked people. They're crooked people. She praised the idea of a 70 to 80% tax rate. That's great. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, they have the best seat in the House, actually. They only see the back, but the cameras, all those cameras are on them. And every once in a while, a star emerges. Like, how about the stars that emerged in Butler? Those people behind me, so many stars emerged. They were behind me, and they didn't run. They weren't running, right? Mike is doing a fantastic job, by the way, on that. Thank you. Mike Kelly, what a fantastic job he's doing. He gets it. But, you know, amazing, they had, just for a second, so they have these crowd control experts, and they were explaining, when one bullet is fired, big stadiums will run out. They call it a stampede, and many people oftentimes are killed. Many bullets were fired. They were going over my head. They were going, we lost Corey, the great firefighter, one great guy. And two other people were supposed to die, but the doctors up there were phenomenal, and they saved their lives. We worked with them. But, I mean, what happened was incredible. But the guy comes in, he says, I've never seen anything like this. All those bullets were flying, and you didn't see the crowd out here. It was massive. It was as big a crowd as you'll ever see. I think as big a crowd as you'll ever see. And by the way, we're going back to Butler. You're going to be there. We're going back. That's a big deal. We have a lot of people coming, and I really believe that will be the safest place on earth. And also, I think I'll start the speech by saying, as I was saying, but the crowd control expert said, I've never seen, because they studied, they couldn't see the people here because the camera was here, and we had many cameras, and it was, you know, I mean, it was amazing. The whole thing was horrible. But they had the people in the back. Nobody ran. Not one. You probably had like 150 people back there. The big crowd was here, but those people were like locked on television because that's the way the cameras are facing. I mean, the one guy behind me, right? Did you see him? He's up. He was looking to fight. His name is Tom. And I got to meet him. But he was a brave guy. And is he here? He was brave. That's not the one I was talking about, by the way. It's not the one but he was a brave guy, too. But everybody up there, they were amazing. I mean, they were amazing. So they did. They had my back. They saw that we were in trouble. Something bad happened. And normally, everybody would flee. Nobody, not one male, female, nobody. They just, you could see the anger on their face. They didn't know exactly. They just knew that your president was in big trouble because they saw that happening, and they didn't flee. And they didn't. And can I tell you, these people didn't flee either. There were so many people, tens of thousands of people. They didn't flee. They stood, they watched, and they wanted to know what could they do to help. The people in the front row Joes were there. Some of the front row Joes were there. You were there. And it was amazing. You stood, I watched you, you didn't move. Mr. Wall, I call him Mr. Wall because you can't go wrong, but Mr. Wall stood there. He didn't move an inch. He was like a piece of, and bullets are flying all over the place. And it was an amazing thing to see, frankly. It was real bravery. Rarely, the crowd control person, a real pro, he said he's never seen anything like it. The people, and what they did, a lot of them, were just, they want, the one guy, he just wants to find out. The bullets are going back and forth, a lot of shots. And it was amazing. So we're going to go back to Butler next week, right? Next week. So, good. Going to be a lot of people. And I want to thank the town. They were great. They want to do it. You know, it's become a big tourist site. Can you believe this? It's become a tremendous, cars are riding by there, taking pictures. It's become an amazing tourist site. So, but we're going to be back there, and it's going to be, we're going to celebrate Corey, the firefighter who died, and really the two men that were so badly hurt. And they're better. Those doctors were amazing. The doctors actually saved the two guys. They're great guys, big Trumpers, and Corey was a big Trumper. He just wanted to make America great again, but the two gentlemen, I said, how many people are going to, because it was wall-to-wall people. So when you hear the bullets, you know, they're not landing on the ground. There was no ground to land on. There was only people. And they said 3 are probably dead, sir. And 2 of them were very badly hurt. They were brought to the hospital. And these doctors were unbelievable, what the job they did. And so we appreciate the doctors, and we'll celebrate all 3. And Corey in particular, we're going to celebrate. The other 2 are making a lot of progress. They're going to be in good shape very shortly. So, right. And by the way, I want to thank, while he's here, Mike Kelly. You're the head of the commission, and nobody's going to fool him. There's not going to be any fooling around, right, Mike? But Mike Kelly is the head of the commission, and he's the perfect guy to have. And you've been doing I've been watching, it's been amazing what's happening, and very bipartisan. Even the Democrats are agreeing you can't let things like this happen. And, you know, Joe Biden ought to get up and say, you're threatening a candidate, a former president and a candidate. And if you do anything to him, it's okay. Look, it's a very dangerous business. But Biden ought to say, you do anything to him, we're going to blow you off the face of the earth, and then we're not going to have any problems. Right? But he can't say that. Other presidents would say that. He just can't probably get the words out. But I'll tell you what, if it were reversed, if I were president and somebody was threatening a president, even if I didn't like that person and he was from the opposite party, I would tell the threatening country, you do anything to him, we're going to blow you off the face of the earth. And nothing's going to happen. But we haven't had that happen, have we, Mike? We haven't had that happen. So it makes life a little bit more dangerous, but that's okay. We know what we got into. Kamala pledged to abolish private health care and force everyone onto socialist government-run health care with high taxes and deadly wait times. We've got to wait 6-7 months sometimes. And she even endorsed free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention at taxpayer expense. That's why 5 weeks from now, we are going to tell her, Kamala, you've done a horrible job as vice president. You are the worst border czar in the history of the world, not just our country. We have to make a change. Kamala, you are horrible. Kamala, you're fired. You're fired. Get out of here. Get out of here, Kamala. Go back to San Francisco, Kamala, which you destroyed, which, by the way, you destroyed. From the moment we take back the White House from Kamala Harris and Sleepy Joe, I believe we're going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We're going to put our country back together. It's going to go fast. Starting on day 1, I will seal the border and stop the invasion of migrants into our country, very dangerous migrants. We will carry out the largest deportation operation of criminals in American history. We have no choice. We will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down. It's too much. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. While working Americans catch up, we are going to put a temporary cap on credit card interest rates at 10%. People are being made to pay 25%. Temporary ban. We will become energy independent. You know, we were energy independent 4 years ago. We will become, again, first time ever, we were energy independent. We were going to become energy dominant, but now we will be. We will be energy dominant like no other country has ever been before. Much bigger than Saudi Arabia, much bigger than Russia. You know, we were in third and even fourth place when I took over. When I left, we were in first place, ahead of them by a lot. And then bad things started to happen. We will open Anwar again. I got it done. Ronald Reagan couldn't get it done. Nobody could get it done. I got it. It's probably the largest site in the world. Could be bigger than Saudi Arabia. And we will tap the liquid gold that's right under our feet, and we will drill, baby, drill. Drill. We will stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower, which we were in the process of doing, and it won't even be hard. Here is the deal that I will be offering to every major company and manufacturer on earth. We will cut your taxes from 21% down to 15% and give you every possible advantage, but only if you make your product here in America and hire American workers for the job. And if you're a foreign country and you don't make your product here, then you will have to pay a tariff, a fairly substantial one, which will go into our treasury, will reduce taxes. But if you send your product into the United States, that will happen. On the other hand, if you want to build your factory in the United States, there will be no taxes, there will be no tariffs, there will be nothing to pay. So if you build your factory or your plant in the United States, there will be no tariff. And therefore, they will all be coming and they'll be building, and you will be getting so many job offers, and a lot of it's going to take place right here in Pennsylvania. We will pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act so that if China or any other country charges us a 100 or a 200% tariff, then we will charge them a reciprocal tariff or tax of 100 or 200%, and we will do it immediately. We were in the process of getting that done, and then bad things happened with the thing called an election. I will not let Mexico, which has taken a lot of your business now, or China, or any other country sell cars into the United States to the detriment of our auto workers, because with what they're doing with electric car mandates and everything else, we won't have any auto workers. The auto workers are going to vote overwhelmingly for me. They have a stupid person in charge of the union named Sean Fain. The Teamsters have a brilliant person, but the auto workers have a stupid. He's agreed and wants them to build all electric cars. If you do that, there will be no more auto jobs. They'll all be made in China and other places, and I will not allow U.S. steel to be sold to Japan. We're going to fight that. Right? Right, Mike? And I will always protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, and we're not going to be raising ages. And for 4 years, I didn't. I will stop the drugs and fentanyl pouring in and killing our kids and killing our families. We will crush violent crime and protect all law enforcement, including Border Patrol, ICE, sheriffs, and Secret Service. We will terminate the Green New Scam and spend the trillions of unspent dollars on roads, bridges, real infrastructure, and paying down debt, not fake infrastructure that's caused massive inflation with no benefit at all. I will settle the war in Ukraine, and I will end the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it. I got a good, lively group back there, right? They're great. They're great. No, they love our country. They love our country. But we will have, again, peace through strength. We had no wars. For 4 years, we had no wars, other than ISIS, which I inherited. And we ended ISIS in 4 weeks. That was the end of ISIS. We ended it, 100% of the ISIS caliphate. We have a great military, but not the guys that you see on television that have no clue what's going on. But we have the real military is great. And they showed me that. They really showed me that. It was supposed to take 5 years. We did it in 4 weeks. There's a man. Thank you very much. Look at that guy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I will support universal school choice, and I believe the Lifeline Scholarship Bill would be a great start for those students trapped in the worst performing schools in Pennsylvania. A lot of people want to see that happen. I understand it. Right? You know that? Oh, you do know that. Good. It would provide financial assistance to empower parents to take their children out of a failing school and send them to a public, private, religious, or charter school. That's really right for them. It's very, you know, school choice is a very big deal. A lot of people don't know that, but it's a big deal. It'll be great. You know, I'm going to take the Department of Education, close it in Washington, let the states run their own education. Very important. Because we spend more money per pupil than any other nation in the world by far, and yet we're ranked at the bottom of every list. So, you know the expression, what the hell do you have to lose, right? I did that with our great, because they've been so supportive. I've gone up like a rocket ship. Our great, but they're being hurt very badly by the people pouring into our country. Our African-American population, I said, well, you're last on crime. You're being devastated with inflation more than anybody else. You have the smallest percentage of home ownership. And I went through a list of 12 things. This was a long time ago, 2015 when I was running, even before. And I was with a group, and I wasn't doing particularly well with them. And I'm going through this whole list of things. I mean, you're last in ownership, you're last in cash and having money in the bank, last in all these different categories. And I said, vote for me. What the hell do you have to lose? Remember that? What the hell do you have to lose? And my people didn't like it. They said backstage, oh, sir, that was not nice. I said, it is nice. Anyway, I didn't know. I figured maybe I shouldn't have said it. The following day, I went up 12 points, right? 12 points. And today, we're the highest we've ever been with the African-American population. We did things that were really incredible for them and with them. Criminal justice reform, right? Took care of the historically black colleges and universities. I got them long-term financing. They were great. We did a lot. And we're doing great with the black population. Hispanic population is like a rocket ship for us. But we have to protect it because the people coming through Kamala, they're coming through the border and they're taking your jobs. Your job numbers are going way up in terms of your unemployment, way up. I don't know if anybody's seen black unemployment the last few months. These people are they're coming in illegally and they're taking your jobs. Hispanic also. And next will be unions. They're going to have a big effect on the unions. So you guys better get together and vote for Trump. I'll tell you, it's going to be a mess. We will rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe and clean and beautiful again, because our cities are in trouble and our capital is like a murdering pit. We're going to get that cleaned up and we're going to make it safe and beautiful, and people are going to be proud to go back to our capital without being killed. And we will keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency, because right now, David, it's under siege, and you know we can't lose that. Losing that would be like losing a war, and then we would, in fact, be a third world country. We lose the reserve. But this is how we will end the era of inflation, mayhem, misery. Under Kamala and Crooked Joe, it was just misery. What a miserable few years. I mean, it's just been horrible. And people all over the world, especially the leaders, are laughing at how stupidly our country is run. Remember, we're the party of common sense. And 95% of it is we're conservative and all that, but whether you're conservative, liberal, we're the party of common sense, so important. But we're going to unleash safety, prosperity, and peace for Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. Together, we will deliver low taxes, low regulation, low energy costs, low interest rates, low inflation, so that everyone can afford things like groceries, a car, and a home, and have money left over. We will stop the invasion, end migrant crime, strengthen our military, build a missile defense shield over our country, keep critical race theory and transgender insanity out of our schools. And we will keep men out of women's sports. Keep them out. We will defend the Second Amendment, protect religious liberty, restore free speech, and we will secure our elections once and for all. Everyone will prosper, every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope. But for that to happen, we must defeat Lion Kamala Harris, and we must stop her country-destroying liberal agenda. She is a radical left communist, and we cannot have her be the president of our country. We never want that ideology anywhere around, because it doesn't work, and it's been proven 100 times. Remember, early voting is beginning right now. Get going right now. So you must get out and vote. We want a landslide that's too big to rig. We're going to have too big to rig. And on November 5th, we will save our economy. We will rescue our middle class. We will reclaim our sovereignty and restore our borders. We will always put America first, and we will take back our country that we love so much. Together, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again, healthy again, strong again, proud again, safe again, free again, and we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. God bless you, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Have a good time.
To feel down, I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy, young man. There's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your dough, you can stay there, and I'm sure you will find